an Empire Boxing and Unlearning Network production.
Welcome back to the Empire Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay, and we have a very special guest. I've just met you tonight, and I'm just getting to know so much more of you than I ever expected. The pre-show was fire. Maybe we'll cut some in, maybe we won't. But the soundbite that I do need before we get started is how JY lured you in on Instagram. JY, what was that? A fire emoji and a Korean flag, and poof, you guys were friends, and that was all it takes?
More than friends now.
Amazing. I have CHOI here, and he's from Louisville, Kentucky, originally a pro boxer, currently 8-0. How many KOs you got?
6 KOs.
6 KOs, okay. All right, so when did you come to Vancouver? Recently?
Friday, was it Friday morning?
Recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not here for too long. I'm going back next Tuesday, so.
Okay, it's not here for a long time, but a good time.
Yep,
okay.
For sure.
And you're getting some training in while you're here?
Yeah. Some of the best training I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
And where are you training at?
And this is not in the gym.
Oh, like in the streets.
Sorry, that was a joke.
When people ask me about when people ask me about Vancouver, that's the first thing I say. I'm like, it's really great training, but not in the gym. And then just trail off and wait for people to find you. Okay, so where you been training seriously apart from the streets?
At DCS, DS Combat Sports.
Nice.
Yeah, place is amazing.
And
they got good people there, and
right. And you're under Coach JY's wing at the moment?
At the moment, yeah.
Okay, and you're getting some good sparring out there. I know he's got some guys that are looking real good and real slick out there.
His guys a lot of them are young and just kind of fresh, but you wouldn't believe that they just started. They just look so good and sharp.
Now, every time I go in there and I'm watching some of the sparring, I'm just like, I remember that kid from the other DCS across the street and like green. And I'm like looking at this kid, I'm going, oh my God, it's not the same guy. So props to Coach JY and what he's doing over there, what he's building. So how did boxing come into your life?
Boxing, man. A lot of people ask me that question because they look at me, they don't really see a boxer in me. But what I tell them is...
I saw Street Fighter instantly, but go on. Go on.
But what I tell them is like I didn't choose a sport. The sport chose
you.
Chose me. Yeah. And it just kind of like something about boxing, the discipline. You know, I love cool things that makes you look cool.
Word. And
half of the stuff that I do, you know, I try to look cool in it, but boxing, man, it's just there's so much. How do you say this in English? It's mediocre. There's a lot of attractive things. Yes,
it's aesthetic. Yeah, absolutely it is.
Just two guys, you know, just banging it out. Wait, hold up. You know, guys, no shirt. You know, they already got pants on. But it's just like blood, sweat, tears, and you know, a lot of fighters will tell you boxing is like it's like living a life. It's like the struggles and like the hardship. You face all that in 3 minutes in the ring against the other guy, and it's just so beautiful. And it's just when I started boxing. That's just what I want to like achieve. Just be in there and experience that, and not a lot of people will get to experience that, you know. And it's just being able to do that. It's just so fortunate that I can.
So who brought you box? Like, did you have a role model or someone in your life at an early age that was doing boxing? How did it first catch a glimpse?
I think a lot of people kind of start out boxing in their backyard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So one day, me and my friend, we just bought some gloves, right?
Right.
We have Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys have that here, but it's a big like sporting like chain store. We went there, Dick's.
Right.
Yeah, we got a big one. But we bought gloves, you know, and we went back to my house, you know, in our living room. All right, we just put our gloves on. All right, we're just gonna hit each other, all right?
I love boys, hey? Like, said no girl ever. Just put these on, let's hit each other. Okay,
yeah,
good.
And that was it. From there on, we just had so much fun. It became like this weekend fight club thing with a bunch of like young guys just hitting each other at midnight. And then slowly, like, the guys started tapering off. But I was like, hey, man, I really like this. I wonder if there's any gym around like that I can actually like go and learn and just learn like the actual art of boxing. So, I go on Google and just type boxing gym. And I was so lucky, like 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's an MMA gym with the boxing program. And that is where I met my first coach, Abdul Jarvis. And he actually passed away from cancer a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry.
he passed away on the day of my weigh-ins or my last fight.
Oh, wow.
So, but that fight, my last fight, it just meant so much more. And it was a special night because I won by KO.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you met your first coach. The gym was 5 minutes away from home. You walked into a little slice of heaven. What was it like? Did you have any amateur experience? How many fights did you have? Like, what was that moment from the, like, I walked in the gym for the first time to, okay, I'm going to step in the ring for the first time.
Yeah. You walk in there and, Kentucky, there's not a lot of Asian people there. There is, but, we get kind of, I don't want to say ignored, but, in the fighting world, especially somewhere like Kentucky, people kind of look at you like you don't belong in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to kind of like make a statement or just try to stand out in a way. And I stood out a little bit because, I was big. I was like maybe like 230, 240 at the time. And, coach saw me and, he welcomed me in. Started boxing, a couple weeks, I think about a month went by. And I told him, like, I saw some guys sparring. I was like, hey, when can I get in there? And I was like, you want to come this Friday? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go in. And Friday's sparring day. I go in and then, at that moment, during that time, I was really into just watching boxing and just mimicking just fighters. And I did like a move in there where just the coach just got so excited. I come back to his corner and he's like, man, where'd you learn to fight like that? And I just watch YouTube. And he just goes, man, YouTube's scary. And then from then on, it was just history. Like, I wanted to fight, get some sparring in. And then I've had 18 amateur fights.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but before I turned pro, I got 18 amateur fights and went from super heavy, light heavy. And I even fought at middleweight a couple times and turned pro at 168.
And which do you prefer of the weight classes? What kind of feels best for you?
I kind of like being a big boy.
Yeah, and you're how tall? You're
I'm about 6'2".
6'2"? I was
Yeah,
gonna say 6'3".
6'1", 6'2" in a good day.
Right, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say you were watching boxing and you were kind of mimicking and emulating, that's definitely a visual kinesthetic kind of learner, right? Who was it that you were watching that inspired you?
Oh, man. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah?
Muhammad Ali.
Was that the move you pulled off in front of the coach for the first time?
I think I might have pulled like a James Toney on him.
Okay.
But in Kentucky, the guys when I go to these fights, they would call me the Korean Ali. Because the way how I would kind of like move around the ring with his little steps.
Putting some respect on your name early? Okay.
A little bit. I got a funny story, actually.
Hit us.
It was one of the amateur matches, and I got him in this corner, right? And I was giving it to him. And I was like, all right, this is where I pull the shuffle, right? And all right, this is it. So I pulled the shuffle, but I didn't realize how tired my legs were. And if I'll show you a video later, I might still have it, but it just looks like
clip it in. Okay, we'll clip it in.
It just looks like my legs are just like I don't know what it was. It just looked like I look like a squid, just going like that.
My body's
and then after that, I was like, I should not have done that. So that was
But that didn't deter you. You continued on.
I still won that fight, but.
And okay, so let's go back to, you had a really monumentous, last fight with what it meant to you and sort of commemorating the honor of your former coach.
Yeah.
But your first fight, walk us through that whole experience.
First pro fight?
Yeah, from, backstage to your ring walk to stepping through the ropes as a pro the first time.
Oh, it was huge because I wanted to come out representing Korea. Louisville, Kentucky is my home, but I'm a Korean, and all Koreans love being Korean.
Right.
And it was so special because I got to, if I remember correctly, there was a little kid at my church that I brought him to the gym with me, and I had him holding the flag coming out of the ring and with the Korean song music. And then for my first fight, I sold over like 100 tickets. And just any Asian people you see, that was my people's.
Yeah.
And it was so loud, man. I've had like friends come up to me after the fight. I won by TKO on second round.
Yeah.
They were like, dude, that was like one of the best nights I've ever had in my life.
Epic.
And it was very epic, and I've had my family get a table and a bunch of people get tables, but first, I'm a very slow starter, and Coach JY will tell you, but I'm a very slow starter. So first few seconds, I like to feel it out, but at the same time, I get kind of hit. But this first fight, I came in first 5 seconds. I'm coming in with I slipped the jab and I come up to shoot the 2, but he shot a 1-2, and I'm coming up and he clips me, and my head just kind of like turns like that, and all you hear is just oh,
right.
And everybody just gets scared. But I think something about Koreans, when you get hit, it just kind of like you just get turned on.
It fires you up.
Yeah, turned on isn't like it fires you up. Yeah. But yeah, and after that, man, it was over for him, and I just got on him. I got to showcase a little bit of counters and combinations. I was able to get him out of there, but man, it was an unforgettable night. It was yeah.
And what did that mean to you? Like looking back from the little boy punching his friend in the backyard to like having your first victory by TKO in front of your friends and family and your whole community. What did that feel like?
Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it, but I guess I can kind of like pat myself on the back and for coming this far and sticking with it.
Yeah.
Because there's always negativity on the side, right? People telling me like, oh, you started boxing too late. You're not gonna make it. You're too like your footwork's not good. You're too slow, but I'm here, right? 8-0, 6 KOs. I'm working with one of the best coaches in Canada. Korean guy, man. I couldn't be happier right now.
Yeah,
it's amazing to be here.
And so what, like when you came here, you met JY, you've been working with them. Were there specific things you brought to the table that you wanted help with to improve your game from him?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if so, what are they? What are you guys working on?
Yeah. I mean, he's been on me since day one. Ever since he saw me, like there's a lot of flaws in my game right now, but I'm just trusting Coach JY to just sharpen that for me, and I think it's a little bit more special between me and him because we do share a same cultural background, and it's more than just like a coach-fighter relationship that we have. It's we have an older brother, kind of younger brother culture, like hyung and 동생. That's what they say, and it's those things, and he's very nitpicky. I've realized, and those nitpicking things I've come to appreciate because they're holes in my games, and he's just so good at just catching them and just helping me understand why it's wrong to do this, and just getting me through. And I guess I've been boxing for about 8-10 years, and it's hard for me to make that transition from an old coach to a new coach, but just the way how the connections that we've made, it just seems like I've known him forever, and it's just. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, you can't leave then, right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm staying in your house.
you can't leave. Yeah, you burned it last night.
Dude, I've been eating like a king this past few days. Shout out to Britzy Ho, man. Like you are
the snack queen.
Yeah, she has
You a
been.
snack
Oh my
brat.
gosh, she has been just feeding me like I'm her child or something.
Guys,
like,
he's not leaving.
might as well call you guys mommy and daddy, right?
Yeah, he's not going to leave, clearly. Okay, so what was the plan? Was the plan originally just to show up and see what happens and start to get some training in, or was it? So
initially, I don't know if you guys know, but Coach JY made a post, I think it was last year, about he put himself out there to help Korean fighters that are overseas to get established in the U.S. and Canada. And ever since I saw that post, I don't even know if I liked it or not, but I saw that post. Sorry, I'll go home and like it right now. I'll do it right now. No, but ever since I've always had it back in my mind. I was like, man, I would love to be able to like work with another like Korean, a coach, and just have like a Korean. Just the Korean thing, I don't know. Something about being Korean. I'm just so proud of being Korean,
Yeah.
And, excuse me. And that was, yeah. Sorry, what was the question? I just kind of got lost in the sauce.
Like, you know, you guys clearly connected, and you had a kind of a game plan when you came here. Was it sort of like, let's just show up and see what happens?
Yeah. We wanted to kind of test out like how it was first before, you know, committing into something, like really committing into something bigger. And, you know, this past 4 days, 4 days, it's been amazing. It's been an instant connection. You know, I could have been a weirdo with some kind of fetish or something. He could have been some
surprise.
He could have been some weirdo, you know, with some stuff in the basement to lock me up and whatever, and like.
You haven't opened that door in the basement.
He hasn't
I was a little disappointed.
He hasn't found the button.
No, but there was instant connection and trust in the DMs. Like, he was just like, hey, just give me a few days, let me talk to my wife and see if he can get me over to just stay a few days and, you know, just kind of feel it out how it is. And when I saw that comment, I was like, man, this guy is a genuinely just a good person. And yeah, I just felt it.
Cool. And then talk to me about how you've noticed like the difference in, I guess you've experienced just kind of the culture that's surrounding DCS and the boxing community. Have you been gym hopping at all? Have you got a broader sense of the culture? Have you guys done sparring elsewhere?
While I'm here with him, anywhere else?
Because I'm curious to know what the difference between like what you experienced back home in Louisville and in Vancouver. How is it different for you?
Any boxing gym, like culture, if you're working hard, I think you can kind of tell, like,
right.
Especially like, I think one of the things of a good gym is like, it's like the smell. I mean, DCS is pretty nice and they keep it pretty clean there, but the fighters, man, their stuff stinks. And that's how you know they're working hard.
Yeah. Word. Yeah,
my stuff doesn't stink though, because I wipe it down and stuff.
Yeah. The old Clorox wipes. So the community in Louisville, Kentucky, what's that like for boxing? Is there much of a boxing scene or a lot of fighters traveling outside of Louisville?
You know, Muhammad Ali is from Louisville, Kentucky.
It's got a crazy history.
Yeah.
So what is it currently?
So you would think like Louisville, Kentucky, home of the greatest of all time. Boxing gyms ever, fights ever. It wasn't like that up until recently. It was dry. We would have to go to Indiana, which is the state right above Kentucky, drive like 3 hours for fights, or go down somewhere a little bit more south, or go to Lexington. That's where UK is, University of Kentucky. You know, you'd have to make all these drives out to get amateur fights. But recently, like about 6-7 years ago, gyms have been popping up. And fights have been coming up, and it's honestly, I can say that with confidence that Louisville, Kentucky is a legitimate fight city. We have a lot of good pro and amateur fighters that are professional wise. I think we're still growing, but amateur wise, we've got a lot of ranked fighters. And yeah, if you hear of fighters from Louisville, Kentucky, you're in for a fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you wrap and you head back home to Louisville, what are you hoping to bring with you from your experience here in terms of your game, your fight game? You know, how are you going to take that step, the next step forward, I suppose, once you get home?
Just some of Coach JOI's teaching and his gym culture.
Right.
You know, like I said, my coach has been, you know, he's passed away, but because of cancer and treatment, all that stuff, he hasn't been in the gym for like 6 months. So we've been kind of just in limbo, the fighters and everything, because we didn't want to leave the gym. You know, he built that up. And some of us guys, we were just loyal guys, and we wanted to stay. And we were really hoping for him to return, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So we're just kind of, some of the guys had to step up as taking head coach positions, and me, I'm kind of like helping assistant coach as well. But I'm really hoping to bring that gym culture from Coach JY back to Louisville, Kentucky, and just try to put that fire back in some of our fighters and in our gym.
And then what do you have on the horizon for fights, camps? What does that look like for you?
Right now, I'm just Coach JY decided to. Well, we actually decided to have an official coach and fighter relationship. So he's going to be managing and just coaching and.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I hope the next time I come back, man, I'll be in better shape and get ready for a fight.
Yeah,
because I'm so excited to be here and just show the people of Canada what these Korean Americans got.
Well, Vancouver welcomes you, man. Like you brought good energy here and a lot of hard work ethic, and it's very cool to see what you guys are building and to hear about it. I'm curious. So you're a fight fan, consummate boxing fan. You're watching boxing.
I try.
Should we get some fight predictions out of you then?
Fight predictions for my...
Yeah, what do you think? Fury, Usyk, we'll start there.
Oh, okay.
Hit me. What do you think's going to happen?
I like both fighters.
Okay.
But I was a big fan of Tyson Fury. Recently he's been kind of, I think his last fight was with Francis Ngannou, right?
Yeah, if you can call it that.
Yeah, it was...
I don't think he put you in a camp.
He did not. He came in like super overweight.
He looked like a pear.
But I
King of the orchard. Like it was insane. I've never...
Right.
But now look at him. Have you seen recent photos?
I
mean,
I
not
think
the
he's
same
serious.
guy.
I think he's serious.
He's not the same guy.
I think he's been here before, and he's got the heart of a champion. And Usyk on the other side, he wants this. This is like historical, right? It's for the undisputed heavyweight championship, and it's so hard. But I think Tyson Fury edges this. I think he's got the experience of being there, and he's been here before, and I think it means a lot to him to be able to do this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there is a huge experience difference.
Yeah.
And a huge size difference. We can't deny that. I mean, Usyk's slick, but is he slick enough? I don't know. So okay, cool. So you got Fury for that one.
Yes.
Edges it. What decision?
I think it'll be a decision. I don't think no one's gonna knock each other out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would have asked you about Beterbiev and Bivol, but that's been canceled. Let's say Fairy Tale. It's still happening in my dreams. Who do you have on that one?
I gotta go with my Korean brother.
Yeah.
Bivol. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, good old Bivol. Okay, we got Deontay Wilder versus Zhang coming up, or is that? Yeah, it's still coming up, right? Has it changed? Not confirmed. Yeah. Damn it. Who else do we have coming up now? We've got. Oh. Well, Jamel Charlo's in prison, so that shit ain't gonna happen. What's coming up?
That crazy card in LA.
Oh, the Matchroom versus
That's a 5 versus 5.
5 versus 5. Okay, we got Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis.
They are fighting. Well, they're saying are fighting.
I'm pretty sure they are on that one. So okay, so we got Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis. Who do you have for that, and why?
I'm a big Gervonta Davis fan. Frank Martin, I haven't seen a lot of his fights, but I think I got Gervonta Davis. I think he's something special.
Yeah, I agree.
He's gonna make history.
You think that's gonna be decision, KO, TKO?
Let's go with the KO.
Let's go with
Yeah, I
KO.
think he's gonna
I
beat
like
him.
it. I like it. I like it. KJ, what else? What else we got coming up?
Shakur Stevenson on July 6th.
Is that confirmed though?
It's in the ESPN schedule. It's Artem Jana.
How did you do? Yeah, that's confirmed.
Say what?
Shakur versus Artem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the Artem? I don't really
I
know
do
him
not.
as a
I
fighter.
do not.
Okay, we're probably going for Shakur on that
Yeah.
one, just of ignorance. It's an ignorant prediction.
On the third, you got Terrence Crawford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That would be the next one. Who do you have for that?
I'd have to say Terrence Crawford.
Crawford.
For sure.
Again, he's another special fighter.
Yeah.
So okay, so when are you heading back home to Louisville next
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning?
Yeah.
So what's the plan until then?
Party.
How much are you training? Like probably every day, or
Every day. Yeah. He's got me working like twice a day in the morning and the evening, and
Wow,
he's kicking my ass, man.
wicked.
Yeah.
Okay,
Airport, no airport right to the fucking gym.
wicked.
It's cruel.
This wasn't a
He's mean.
Okay, and then apart from the training, which is the highlight reel, obviously, what have you done? Vancouver things? Have you taken? You haven't done
That
nothing.
was our day for us. to
Yeah.
do Vancouver.
So Brit's in charge then.
No, I'm in charge. Nobody fighter better than the gym.
Okay,
Give me some recommendations.
What's the plan so far? What are you guys doing
So
tomorrow?
far, first we're gonna train. We're gonna train twice.
As you do.
And then after, depending if he urgent or not, we're gonna take him out for food, take him around the city for some nice spots, nice cocktails. Be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Perfect. Oh, such an adult day.
Yeah,
Very good.
it is.
Very good. Now, what's next for you in the world? Like, you obviously more fights and stuff, but I want to know, like, what do you see yourself doing in boxing?
In boxing, I just right now I just want to focus on what's in front of me, and that's just making history with Coach JOI. I really believe that we're going to be here to pave the way for some of the future Korean fighters too, and I think we're doing something good here. Yeah.
And a world championship in the taste buds anywhere? Or?
You know, maybe on the back of my throat.
Okay, so not quite forefront yet? Okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it for sure. I mean, who's not, you know?
Have you gone and done any training in Korea?
I have actually. It hasn't been very fulfilling because it's just the culture. I'm Korean, but I'm still an American, you know? I lived more than half of my life in America. And Korean boxing style is very still, I think, it's not quite there to, they got to make some big changes, and I believe, you know, in Korea to make some big changes if we want to catch up to China and Japan, because we're always, most of the time, we're on the losing end. And I want the best for Korea, but I think I think some of the fundamental has to change a little bit, and some of the style, and maybe some of the older traditional things needs to go out the window, and some of the new stuff needs to come in. And there's some fighters, I follow a lot of Korean fighters, and there's a few out there that are trying the new stuff, and you know, they look good. And I'm excited for them too.
I think boxing in general is also kind of in a bit of a shift, you know, from kind of bringing in, you know, paying homage to the classical elements of what makes boxing great, but then bringing in this kind of new school mentality, new school skill, like new school coaches. You know, you see a lot of out with the old and with the new kind of happening in boxing in general right now. Have you seen that throughout your young days, kind of as an early pro? Have you been part of that shift? Have you seen that shift happening around you?
Not particularly around me, because I think I am kind of like, I think I did come into that new age kind of boxing to begin with, but my coach was still very old school. You know, it's just putting in sweat and hard work. Yeah, that was like the main priority first, and then everything else was kind of secondary. But I'm glad that, you know, that's how he started me off as, because honestly, at the end of the day, you know, it's just about how much you put in, right? And
it sounds like he taught you some really good values, things that
for sure
are really important for a fighter to have. Because it is a difficult sport. It's the loneliest sport, as they say. So you have to have that kind of mental toughness for sure. So I'm curious, was your family supportive out the gate? Like,
you know,
mom just saw you and like some kid like beating each other up in the backyard.
Right, it was always like, oh no, you go to your room and study, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you're not Bijan, you're Asian.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But you
so
know,
mom was like, fuck no.
No, I'm just kidding. It was never like that.
Really?
Yeah. My parents are like the most laid back Asian parents ever.
Wow.
They were so laid back that up until now, like recently I told them like, hey, did you guys know that I failed like every class in high school and I barely passed high school? And they're like, oh really?
Wow.
Cool.
Mom and dad.
Yeah. But, you know, it was also, you know, my parents are just so busy, you know, trying to support the family.
Right.
Because we have a family business back home in Louisville, Kentucky. We have an Asian grocery store.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's the best.
Do you work there as
number
well?
one. I do. Yeah. I help out.
Wicked.
Korea number one.
So that's sort of like so good. So that's sort of like the lifestyle for you. Like you go, you train, you come, you help mom and dad out the family business.
Pretty much. You know, you guys have like Kim's Convenience
honestly,
here.
this is a movie.
It is. Somebody sign me up. I'm a good actor.
Yeah, you've been trying to fuck with me the whole time. We just met. He was like, they were for the fans at home, they were going to pretend he didn't speak any English, and JY was going to come in here and translate, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, yeah, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. To be honest, I actually wish it had a gone down like that. I really do.
No, I got still something else for you.
Oh, yeah?
Don't worry.
Just tucked away in the back of your throat?
A little bit deeper.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm scared now.
Yeah, be on the lookout. I'm trying to get you
I'm scared. Okay, cool. So you guys were talking, when we were talking about the pre-show, you had made a decision between you and the coach to press pause on the next fight. What was the process around that, and why did you make that decision?
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to have a camp here, go back home, and I had a match in June 15th.
Okay.
And it was one of my old promoters, you know, his last show, and I really wanted to be there because two of my teammates are also going to be there. Right. One of them's going to debut. Shout out to my boys, Tyler Albrecht and Alex Stancato, man. I love you guys. And I really wanted to be part of that. And they were going to do they were going to honor my coach too also. But, you know, my last fight, you know, I had a little bit of a injury going on. It's feeling fine now, but I'm just not too confident about this next match. And I think moving on forward, I do want to start having matches in Canada if I can under Coach JY. So me just trusting in Coach JY's advice and just decided to go that route. So I'm just happy that way.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And as you know, as you've kind of navigated like the earlier stages of your pro career, what kind of obstacles have you come across? Like, has there been difficulties with promoters, matchmakers, things like that? Tell us about your experience with it.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky. I told you about like the rise of boxing scene in Louisville. It was recent. So one of the promoters, this promoter that was supposed to put me on, he was making a comeback of putting back Louisville, Kentucky, boxing shows, pro boxing shows, and he actually promoted. I think it was back in the '80s. My coach's first pro boxing fight.
Oh, cool! Some legacy.
And there was also a lot of good connection, and I remember my coach telling me like, "Hey, I think this is a good time to turn pro. You're good enough." And we got this promoter that he's going to start setting up fights here, and this is your chance to kind of like make it or break it, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much it started up from there, and like I said, I got lucky with good promoters on our side of just promoting me. Even though sometimes I had to sell most of my tickets, I sold a lot of tickets.
That's good though.
But, yeah, it's a little. I didn't know it was like that, like this, but I guess in our side of the town, in my neck of the woods, so they say, the fighters were kind of responsible of paying off the B side instead of the promotion taking over and paying both sides. So there was a lot of burden on us to raise money and sell tickets and maybe at the end of the day, if I'm lucky, I'll get out with like $200. But
interesting.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that in Canada, everybody gets a fair share, and yeah.
I think it depends on the the promoter and what organization, but I think the goal is that you're the promotion. Well, the goal should be that you're the promotion fighters want to work with,
right?
And that we honor the hard work, and you guys risk your lives to go in there. So. That should be how it is. But I do think it varies place to place, promoter to promoter. And I think that's part of that, out with the old, in with the new, where hopefully this new era of boxing is a little bit more transparent and a little bit more passionate about supporting and bringing up
local
both sides and young fighters as well too. It's really it is difficult to promote someone that nobody knows out the gate. So there is a teasing period that a fighter and a promoter must have, and that must be a relationship that's longer. You have to have your eyes on a longer term goal
for sure.
to build a fighter. What advice would you give to a little boy who just bought some boxing gloves with his friend and is thinking, wow, I really like this. Looking back at your experience, what advice would you give to that?
Yeah, just watch a lot of boxing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Watching is
YouTube. I'm telling you, we didn't have that when we were growing up.
No.
Well,
how old are you? You look like you're maybe like 25.
I like him. Yeah. Add 10 to that minimum, but I'll take it.
No, but yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
crazy what people are learning.
Yeah, it's just kids and social media. Everyone's busy scrolling, but if they're scrolling and watching videos and fighters, and I can see, you can always tell a fighter if they've been watching boxing versus if they haven't been watching boxing.
Interesting.
Just the way how they move and the stuff that they do in the gym. And I would just say watch a lot of boxing, and if you're in Vancouver, Canada, go see Coach CHOI Ken at DCS.
Wicked. Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck in your stay in Vancouver, and you're good. Like a good experience, and you can take that home with you and implement some of that culture you were talking about, because Vancouver will welcome you back anytime.
Thank you guys. Last shout out.
Yeah.
My sister, she's having a baby.
Shout out,
sister.
I'm
gonna be a dad.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
This was what he was waiting for.
Sorry, I laughed too fast. That was.
He was just amped.
He said he had a joke in the car. I'm not telling him.
He comes real quick.
Oh man! Wait, what? What are we talking about?
It's been another episode of the Empire Boxing Podcast, Family Counseling Edition. I'm your host, Coach Jay. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Make sure to listen, follow, and subscribe to Empire Boxing on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.